I'm safer at home, and I hope you all are too, but really pleased to be able to tell you about my next book club selection. No better time to get a good book, and this is a really good one. It is a true story, and it's called Hidden Valley Road, Inside the Mind of an American Family by Robert Kolker. Hidden Valley Road. And what an incredible story it is. True story about this family of 12. And it's discovered one by one, by one, by one, by one, by one, that 6 members of this family, of the boys, all have schizophrenia. And it's like a detective story that reveals the shame, the denial, the shock, the confusion, the misunderstanding of dealing with mental illness at a time when nobody was really sure what schizophrenia was or how to treat it. Robert Kolker does an incredible job of exploring the minds of this family. What measures do you think are needed to implement a change in the societal stigmas associated with mental illness?
I think everyone needs to understand that early intervention can work wonders, particularly even with the most acute mental illnesses like schizophrenia, which we still don't really understand. But what we do understand now is that someone who has 2 or 3 psychotic breaks but then has good care is doing much better than someone who is left alone because of a stigma and ends up having 30 before they're 25. So if you go to your teenager who's feeling out of sorts, who's feeling like a stranger to themselves, who is hearing voices, and get them immediate care and attention and don't ask for them to sweep it under the rug, then we're really going places. I think that the lesson to drive home for all of us is this is not as uncommon as you think. There are at least 3 million Americans alone who suffer from it. That's like 1% of the population, essentially. And it's a real disease. It's not a failure of nerve or anything like that.
Because the vast majority of acutely mentally ill patients have difficulty advocating for themselves, we don't really see them the same way we see other sick people, that they fade into the background and are too often overlooked. But I feel that this is changing, that if the Galvin boys were around today, their parents might have not hid it from the world for quite so long. I think that schizophrenia might be the next domino to fall. I mean, in our lifetimes, I'm about 50, we've seen bipolar disorder and anxiety and depression and even autism come out of the shadows and becomes things that people can really talk about now as potentially as brain disorders and not as character flaws. And I'm hopeful that schizophrenia is becoming more like that as well, and that maybe the Galvin family story will help with that.